I was setting the table when the message came, silverware in one hand, napkin in the other, and my phone buzzed beside the gravy boat. Vivian Hale. You won't be joining us on the Christmas cruise. Your father thinks it should be just to the family. Just to the family. The words didn't make sense at first. Then they did. My hand froze midair. The fork slipped and hit the floor with a sound that felt louder than it should. 3 months ago, I sold my condo in Seattle $380,000 after taxes. Every cent went into the house I bought for them, their dream place, their safety net. My name was on the deed. I never thought they'd use it as a weapon. I stared at the text until the words blurred. Another message followed. Vivian, don't take this personally. Your father needs a peaceful holiday. It's been a stressful year. Stressful for them, I'd been the one working weekends, paying off the loan, pretending everything was fine. I typed back one word, okay, then deleted it. A few minutes later, the doorbell rang. My neighbor, Mara Quinn, stepped in holding a pie. She looked at me, then at the untouched table. Everything all right? I handed her the phone. She read the message and went silent. They're serious. They usually are. Mara placed the pie down carefully, as if the air itself might crack. You bought them a house, Rowan. I know. And now you're not invited to Christmas. Apparently family has membership requirements. She tried to laugh but couldn't. Do you want to call them? I shook my head. No. I want to see how far they'll go before they remember I exist. The clock ticked behind us. The smell of roasted turkey filled the room, but it felt like someone else's home. A third message came through. Vivian, I hope you understand. You're always our hero. I almost laughed. Hero! The word landed like a bruise, Mara whispered. You're shaking. I'm fine. No, you're not. I will be. I deleted the message thread, one by one, until the screen went blank. Then I set the phone down beside the empty plates and said, almost to myself, they just made a mistake they can't undo. The next morning, I tried to work. My laptop glowed with spreadsheets, numbers blurring into nothing. All I could see was that text, just the family. By noon, I called my father. He picked up on the third ring. Dad, did Mom text me about the cruise? He hesitated. It's better this way. Rowan, you know how your mother is. You mean decisive, she needs quiet. We all do. Quiet, from what he sighed. You make things harder than they need to be. The line clicked. He'd hung up. It wasn't the first time silence answered me louder than words. Years earlier, after I finished my MBA, I called them from the campus steps. It's over. Dad, I did it. He'd said, that's great. Honey, then added softly, I might need a favor. The favor was $10,000 for a car business. He promised it was safe. I wired the money the next morning. The business never existed. Then came the procedure. Mom showed up with fake tears and a stack of bills. Insurance won't cover it, sweetheart. It's urgent. $15,000. Later, she sent photos of her new kitchen, bragging about marble counters. When I asked about the surgery, she said, a woman deserves to feel better in her own home. Even after that, I wanted to believe she loved me. I wanted to think those lies had meaning beyond the money. Another winter night. Dad called at midnight. Heater's broken. We'll freeze without it. I transferred $3,000 before sunrise. 2 weeks later, their friend sent photos of their new smart heating system. Each call had the same script fear, urgency, gratitude. Each one left me emptier. I told Mara once, maybe helping them is who I am. She looked at me like she wanted to shake me. No, Rowan, it's who they made you. Now, sitting alone in my apartment, I replayed every word, every transfer, every lie wrapped in affection. The phone buzzed again, Vivian's name on the screen. I didn't answer. A voice message appeared a minute later. Her tone was sweet, practiced. I hope you're not upset. Darling, family just needs time apart sometimes. I pressed play again, listening to the tremor beneath her calm. That wasn't guilt. It was control. I saved the voicemail, not because I wanted to hear it again, but because part of me knew it wouldn't be the last. 2 days passed before Mara showed up again. She didn't knock, just walked in holding 2 coffees and that look that meant she'd already heard something. "They're posting pictures," she said. "Of what? The cruise brochure. Matching luggage. Your mom's caption said, 'Family means everything.'" I took the cup from her hand. "It always does, as long as I'm paying for it." She sat across from me. "You could call them. I could set myself on fire too." Same effect. "Rowan. They'll say it's my fault for being too sensitive, for not understanding how family works." Her eyes softened. "They missed your MBA graduation to pitch a fake business." Remember, I looked up sharply. "How do you know that your father bragged about it to a client at the firm where I used to temp?" "He said you'd understand, that you always did." My stomach turned. He used me as an excuse. He used you as a safety net. I didn't answer. My phone buzzed again, lighting up the counter. Vivian Hale? I almost let it go to voicemail, but something in me wanted to hear her voice. I swiped. "Hi, Mom." "Oh, sweetheart," she said, breathless. "I'm so glad you picked up. Your father hasn't been well. His heart again. We might lose the house if the payments fall behind." I felt myself slipping into old habits, calculating numbers, timelines, how much I could move without draining my savings. I just need a little help. "Rowan, just one more time." Mara shook her head across the table, mouthing, "Don't." "Mom," I said slowly. "When did his condition start?" Vivian hesitated. "A few weeks ago. Before or after the refinance?" The pause on the other end stretched too long. "What refinance?" she said, voice tight. I opened my laptop, pulled up the property record I'd found that morning, dated 2 months before their so-called emergency. "You already pulled out $80,000. Did you think I wouldn't check?" Her tone shifted silk over steel. "I don't appreciate your tone. Young lady, I don't appreciate being lied to. After all we've done for you, what you've done to me," I corrected. Silence. Then a soft exhale that sounded almost like amusement. "I see. You're angry. That's all right. You'll come around. You always do." The line went dead, Mara whispered. "She really said that she thinks I will." I said, "She's betting on it." I closed the laptop and stared at the glowing screen until my reflection blurred. "They weren't drowning," I murmured. "They were rehearsing." Mara leaned back, watching me. "So, what are you going to do?" I looked at the darkened phone, my pulse steady for the first time in months. "Wait," I said. "Let's see what they do next." 2 days later. My phone lit up with an unfamiliar number. I almost let it ring out, then answered. "This is Rowan, Tom Bradley. Bradley and Associates." A man said, crisp and polite. "Your father asked me to reach you." My father could have called himself. He believed this would be easier. "Your parents say you agreed to transfer the Elm Street property back into their names as a gift. I can courier the documents for signature." "No," I said. "I didn't agree to anything." A pause, measured. They were quite clear. They described it as a family gesture, clean, simple. "Nothing about this family is clean or simple." "Understood," he said, voice cooling. "If you're rescinding the gift, I'll note it. There is no gift to rescind. Then I'll advise them to proceed differently." "You'll advise them not to commit fraud," I said. Another pause. "I'll advise them you declined." He hung up. I stood in the kitchen with the phone still at my ear, listening to nothing. The door opened without a knock. Mara slipped inside, a manila folder tucked under her arm. "I came as soon as I got the voicemail you forwarded," she said. "You need to see this before they try anything else." "What is it, evidence?" she said, setting the folder on the counter. "And a map of the hole they've dug." I opened the flap. Copies, stamps, neat signatures. Where did you get these public records? And a client who owed me a favor. I scanned the first page. Refinance, I said. Dated 2 months before Mom's sob story. $80,000 pulled out, Mara said. Vanished into thin air, into leather seats and window treatments, I said. She slid another sheet forward. Boat registration, $25,000. Your father's name. The marina is 40 minutes away. I stared at the registration number until it stopped meaning anything. He told me they were choosing between groceries and heat. They chose varnished teak, Mara said. I turned to the next document. Tax filings. Line items that glowed like sirens. They spent like lottery winners. I reached deeper into the folder and felt a thicker application pack. What's this? Mara didn't answer right away. Read the header. I did. Life insurance. $200,000. Insured Vivian Hale. Beneficiary Rowan Hart. My throat tightened. When filed last month. Mara said, approved last week. She's healthy. She is, Mara said, which is why this is a problem. It names me as beneficiary. I said, she'll call that love. She'll call it love when she needs a story, Mara said. Because if something happens to either of them while you're in a dispute over a house worth $400,000, the paperwork paints you as motive. I set the packet down like it might bruise the counter. They're not just draining me, they're laying a trail. Neat little breadcrumbs, Mara said. Gift transfer, sudden distance, a daughter who stops returning calls, and a bright policy with your name on it. My mother knows which buttons to press. I said, sympathy, obligation, then outrage. She also knows timelines. Mara said, refinance first, plea second, policy third, lawyer fourth. It's a sequence. Rehearsed. I said. Mara held my gaze. You need to shift the power. Stop being the person reacting to their script. I picked up the insurance packet again and traced my name with my thumb. If I confront her now, she'll cry. She will, Mara said. Then she'll tell everyone you're ungrateful, and he'll nod. I said. He always nods. Mara pointed to the folder. You once told me you forged his signature on a small loan years ago to help him. If he digs for mud, he'll find it. Get ahead of it. I closed the folder. Full control of every account I can touch. A record of every transfer I ever made. Every voicemail downloaded and backed up. And a lawyer. Mara said, not his. I have a name. I said, Eleanor Brooks. Mara exhaled. Good. Call her before they call someone louder. My phone buzzed again, another unknown number. I flipped it face down. Not him, I said. Mara nodded. Then, what first I slid the folder into my bag and zipped it shut. We stopped playing defense. Mara watched my hands steady. Say it out loud. I looked at the dead screen. The manila seam neat against my palm. There is no gift, I said. There is a plan. Eleanor Brooks answered on the second ring. Speak. It's Rowan Hart. Mara Quinn gave me your number. Good. Come now, she said. Bring proof and the worst thing you have not told me yet. I met her in a glassed-in conference room. She didn't offer coffee. She held a pen like a judge holds a gavel. Timeline, Eleanor said. Fake car investment 10,000 jola. Fake surgery moilam ninghin jola. Fake heater ban ninghin jola. I bought them a house bontrum ninghin jola. 2 months before asking me for help. They refinanced tamoy ninghin jola. Yesterday, their lawyer called about a gift transfer. There is a life insurance policy had trum ninghin jola with me as beneficiary. Health status of mother healthy. Eleanor nodded once. The worst thing you have not told me. I looked at the table. Years ago, I signed my father's name on a small loan to prevent his credit collapse. He asked. I agreed. It was stupid. Sighs. Doi moi ninghin jola. Paid off long ago. Then we disclose it first. She said. Your flaw belongs to you, not to them. Mara slid the manila folder between us. Public records. Refinance. Boat registration. Insurance application. Eleanor skimmed. Fast and surgical. They are staging motive and narrative. We cut both. She clicked her pen. 3 phases. 1. Secure your financial perimeter. 2. Gather irrefutable proof, but consequences proportional to conduct. Phase 1. I said, you revoke every authorization. Any transaction over num moi jola triggers your approval. You move liquid assets to a new institution. You change phone, email, and recovery keys. You do it today. Mara leaned forward. I can help set alerts and backups. Eleanor looked at me. You will also record a notice on title. No deed, lien, or transfer without your written signature. I will draft and file. If they try to move the property, a clerk will call me before the ink dries. Do it, I said. Phase 2. Eleanor continued. We hire a forensic accountant and a private investigator. Every emergency will match a luxury spend. We subpoena marina records, medical providers, and the insurer's underwriting file. We collect voicemails. We secure metadata. We do not blink. What about their lawyer, I asked. Tom Bradley will get a letter today. She said, gift transfers end here. My phone vibrated. Private number. I set it face down. Eleanor's eyes flicked to it. You will not answer unscheduled calls from your parents. You will communicate in writing. You will write as if a judge is reading every syllable. I can do that. I said, Phase 3. She said, we will not threaten. We will act. Civil fraud, financial coercion, attempted defamation by implication. We push for restitution and fees. If they escalate, we seek protective orders. Mara exhaled. She's not going to run at them. She's going to walk through them. Eleanor capped her pen. Rowan, this only works if you stop negotiating with guilt. I'm done. I said, prove it. She slid a phone across the table. Call your bank. I dialed. The representative came on cheerful. I was not. I need all outside authorizations revoked today. New passwords, new 2-factor, new accounts. Any charge over num moi jola requires my explicit consent. Understood. Ms. Hart, the rep said, we'll secure everything now. I ended the call. Next, title recording, Eleanor said, already drafting. Sign here. I signed. She stamped. The sound was small and final. Mara touched my sleeve. Voicemails. I opened the folder on my phone. Vivian's voice poured into the room, sweet, steady, practiced. Family just needs time apart sometimes. I saved each clip to a cloud archive and a hard drive. Eleanor listened without expression. Good. We preserved the mask they chose. My screen lit again. Dad. I let it ring out. A voicemail arrived, brittle and careful. Call me back, kiddo. We can fix this if you listen to your mother. I saved that one too. Eleanor slid the stamped notice toward me. A courier is filing this in 20 minutes. After that, any move they make touches me first, Mara whispered. Phase 1, complete. I stood to leave. Eleanor's gaze held me at the door. Anger will tempt you to act noisy, she said. Do not. Anger is loud. Determination is quiet. I hear you. I said, then begin. Outside the room, my phone buzzed again. I let it. I walked to the elevator with the folder under my arm and the pen mark drying on my fingertips. Phase 2, I said to Mara. Say it like a command, she said. Phase 2, I repeated. Now. They came back on a Sunday evening. My phone rang before their taxi stopped. Charles spoke first. The lock's broken. The lock isn't broken, I said. You just do not live there anymore. Vivian cut in, bright with disbelief. Open the door. Rowan? No. Silence pressed the line. Charles tried again. Where do we sleep? You planned every step until this one, I said. Plan the rest. Vivian's voice sharpened. You are making a scene on our street. You made a record at the courthouse, I said. Meet me at Denny's in 1 hour. They arrived with sunburned noses and rolling luggage. I sat in a booth with a folder in front of me and no coffee between us. Vivian forced a smile. You look tired, sweetheart. I am done being tired, I said. Sit. Charles dropped into the booth and folded his hands like he could hide them. We can fix this. I pushed the folder to the middle. We will correct it. Vivian's gaze flicked to the tab. What is that proof? I said. Start with the refinance. She slid out the first document, scanned the date, and held her expression still. We needed options. You had options. I said. You took $80,000 2 months before you called me crying about payments. Charles cleared his throat. It was a bridge. It was a theft. I said. Next page. Vivian set down the refinance and pulled the boat registration. This is not relevant. It is a $25,000 mistake parked 40 minutes away. I said. You told me you were choosing between groceries and heat. Charles's jaw ticked. That boat was an investment, like the car business that never existed. I said. Turn another page. Vivian found the insurance packet. Her eyelashes barely moved. That is responsible planning. It is a $200,000 policy filed while you were pressuring me for a gift transfer, I said. It places my name where you want the blame. Her smile fell away. Careful. I am finished being careful. I said. Tom Bradley called to say I agreed to give you the house. He will not make that call again. Charles leaned forward. You are twisting everything. No, I said. I am straightening it. Vivian laced her fingers. You investigated your own parents. You framed your own daughter, I said. A beat passed, and then she tried a softer key. Rowan, we raised you. You trained me, I said. You taught me that love sounds like need and looks like transfers. Charles's voice thinned. You forged my name once. Do you remember? I do. I said. I already disclosed it to my attorney. Paid, closed, irrelevant to your scheme. He sat back. The blow he aimed slid past me and broke on his own knee. Vivian reached for outrage. You changed the locks on your family. I recorded a notice on title. I said, any deed or lien hits my lawyer's desk before a clerk lifts a stamp. You do not live in that house because you did not buy that house. I did. Charles tried patience. We can agree on a schedule. A few months. You know we are under stress. You scheduled a cruise, I said. You scheduled a remodel. You scheduled a boat. You scheduled a policy. You can schedule a motel. Vivian's nails tapped the table. You enjoy this. I prefer the truth, I said. Enjoyment is optional. She laughed. Brittle as ice. You always wanted to punish us. I wanted to be seen. I said. You preferred me useful. Charles spread his hands. Name your number. This is not a negotiation. I said. This is a boundary. Vivian leaned in until her perfume crowded the air. You will regret humiliating us. You built the stage. I said. I turned on the lights. Charles's voice wavered. What do you want? Rowan consequences, I said. Restitution for the house and the loans. Fees. A written agreement waiving any claim to me or my assets. Compliance begins tonight. Vivian blinked, stunned that the words did not tremble. You would put your parents in court. I would put thieves where the law puts thieves, I said. She swallowed something hard. We gave you everything. You gave me a job title. I said provider. I resign. Charles stared at the folder like it might explode. If we refuse, then you meet Eleanor Brooks, I said. She does not raise her voice. She does not miss. Vivian's eyes flashed. You think this is over because you brought papers. I think it is over because you brought luggage, I said. You came home from a cruise to a door that no longer opens. Charles looked at the window instead of me. Where do we go? Anywhere that is not my house, I said. You will not enter without my consent. Vivian tried one more angle. You will ruin us. You built the ruin, I said. I built the exit. I gathered the documents back into the folder and stood. Vivian caught the edge with 2 fingers. Rowan, she said, almost tender. We are your family. I freed the folder from her hand. Family is a verb. You stopped doing it. I stepped away from the booth. Charles's voice followed, small and hoarse. Kiddo. I did not turn. I left them with their luggage and the bill, walked outside, and let the phone ring in my pocket until it went quiet. 6 months later. Eleanor called while I was stirring coffee. "They've signed," she said. "All of it full repayment, plus damages. The court approved the settlement this morning. They've also waived any future claim to you or your assets." I set the mug down. "So it's done." "It's concluded," she said. "Done. Will take longer." Mara dropped by that afternoon with 2 lattes and a look that meant she had news before she spoke. "They moved," she said. "We're East Side, a 1-bedroom near the freeway. The building's older than you." I waited. "Your dad's stocking shelves at the hardware store," she added. "Your mom tried to get a job at a real estate office. Lasted a week." "What happened?" "She called a client's husband instead of the client," Mara said. "They don't like charm used as leverage." I almost smiled. "She sold the boat to pay their lawyer." Mara continued. "Returned the BMW to the dealer. Their new car's a 12-year-old sedan. Luxury fades fast when it's on credit," I said. Mara studied me. "Do you feel better?" "I feel quieter." That evening, my phone rang. Vivian's name glowed across the screen. I answered. "Mom." Her voice was smaller, careful. "Rowan, we wanted to say we're sorry. Maybe someday no." I said, "Not someday. Today you learn how to live without my money. Then maybe you learn how to live with me." The silence on the line was long. "I didn't mean for things to go this far," she said. "You never do." I said, "That's the problem." She tried to find warmth again. "You sound just like me." "I sound nothing like you," I said and ended the call. The phone rang once more, but I let it go. Later. Mara texted a single line. "Freedom sounds like that." I typed back, "It sounds like nothing." That's the point. Eleanor emailed the final court documents that night. Every page stamped, sealed, complete. I read them once and saved them in a new folder named Closed Accounts. The next morning, I deleted the voicemails. One by one. Vivian's apologies, Charles's half-hearted pleas. The sound of their rehearsed affection dissolved into static. When the last clip vanished, I looked at the empty screen and said softly, "Phase 3, finished." The call came 3 days later, just after sunset. I almost didn't pick up. But habit 1. "Rowan," Vivian said, her voice thin but steady. "Your father and I wanted to say, we're sorry." I leaned against the counter. "For what part?" "For everything," she said quickly. "We were scared. The bills, the house. Everything felt like it was slipping away." "You slipped first," I said. She hesitated. "Maybe we could try again. Start small. Dinner. Perhaps no." I said. "You start by learning how to live without my money. Then, maybe, you'll remember how to live with me." Her breath caught. "You think we can't change. I think you don't want to." I said. "Change costs something. You've never paid for anything you couldn't charge to someone else." "Your father misses you," she whispered. "He had years to show it." I said. "He spent them agreeing with you." Silence spread between us. Then she said softly, "We thought we were protecting the family." From what I asked. From me, no. From losing control. I closed my eyes. "You lost that long before I hired a lawyer." Vivian's voice trembled. "Are you happy now I'm free?" I said. "Happiness can take its time." She started to cry, the same careful tears I'd once believed. I let them fall through the receiver until her breath steadied. "Goodbye." "Mom." She didn't answer before I hung up. An hour later, Mara stopped by with takeout and 2 bottles of sparkling water. She called Mara, asked. She did, and I think she finally heard me. I said, or maybe she just heard silence. Mara smiled. "Sometimes that's louder." "Sometimes," I said, raising the glass. "It's enough." We clinked bottles. The sound was small, clean, final. Morning light slid across the bathroom mirror. I stood there, hair still damp, phone silent for the first week in years. Mara knocked on the doorframe. "The seminar's confirmed. First group signs up next month." The family fraud one, I asked. Yeah, you're the keynote. I smiled. Then we start something better than forgiveness. She leaned against the wall. You ready? I'm ready to stop surviving. Mara nodded and left me with my reflection. The last time I'd looked this closely, my eyes were red from crying. Now they were sharp, calm. I whispered to the woman staring back, You're our hero. Rowan. The words hung there, wrong. Then I corrected them quietly. No, I'm my own. The phone buzzed once an unknown number. I watched it ring, then fade to missed call. No voicemail followed. Outside, rain tapped against the window. I opened it, let the air cut through the room. Mara called from the kitchen. Coffee or tea? Both, I said. Today deserves both. I turned back to the mirror, ran my hand across the glass to wipe the fog, and saw the smallest thing my own smile. Unforced, unfamiliar, but mine. The sound of the rain grew steadier. I didn't move. I just let it fill the silence that finally belonged to me.